Just stop and take a little time out with me. Just take 5.
Finally.
Give it to me, give it to me.
Hey.
That's it for our part, man. You already know what we're doing. It's been a while. One too many weeks, if I do say so myself. Got a few on. We were trying to get the full collective, but you do what you got to do in this day and age here. So, got Jew and Joey. Jew, what you doing today? How you feeling?
I feel all right, man. I'm low-key battling a little sickness. I was out this past weekend, so I'm getting over it, but we'll be all right. Love flu game pod,
Flu game pod. Not even gonna ask what you was up to, but Joey, how we feeling, man?
I'm battling a cold myself. It's starting to get cold. It's wintertime shy. You know the deal.
I mean, if y'all two would wash your hands once in a while, then you'd be all right. But now we doing all that sniffling and whatnot on the pod, but it's neither here nor there. But like I said though, it's been a minute. Definitely a lot to talk about in the sport landscape. So we're gonna do a quick 4 for 4. All right, 4 for 4. We've got 4 different sports, not really, but 4 different sports, 4 different leagues we have to cover. Okay, and we've got takes about each and every one of them. But before we get started, Julian, do you have anything to say about fantasy football at this time? I'll give you.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to say I hope that y'all respect me at this point. We did have a solo shot of my team just to make fun of us when we were down bad. We were probably 1-6, 1-5 at the moment. Last in the league, they said we were dead. But they didn't make sure that we were dead. We still had a little bit of a heartbeat. We battled back to 7-7 now. We rolled someone in the first round of the playoffs. Kirko Chains is up next, number 1 team in the league. He can be had. I'm just saying, watch out this week.
It's only right we gave him his victory lap and whatnot. Y'all don't be thinking I'm generous around here with the pod. Like I gave Maz his victory lap, so now we can be quiet for the rest of the pod as far as I'm concerned. But anywho,
your mic replug.
What you mean?
It just went staticky for a second.
Is it good? All right, anywho.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it because we got the NBA Cup tonight. I'm gonna pass it to Julian. I had made these slides maybe a week or two ago, right? Just to talk about a little CFP.
I didn't even see, bro. Down in the bottom right.
CFP. But before I completely pass it to Drew, pause like Sharon Moore, I'm just in the workplace. I'm at the job site. I get a ESPN notification. Don't think too much of it. You know what I mean? Guys get fired every day and whatnot. But then 30 minutes, maybe 45 later, I get another notification like, oh, he's been arrested. So, naturally, when we see this with especially coaches, right, you kind of know what's going on, like why that would occur. But it's gone to a dark place. So, I know we like to joke around, that sort of thing. But as far as I understand it, y'all can jump in if y'all need to. But like Sharon Moore went to a staffer's house that apparently he had an inappropriate relationship with, right? Making threats to, kill her and kill himself as well, right? We're talking about a family man, wife and kids at home, doing something like this. So, you got to take mental health very seriously, but it's not something that, you really want to see for a very troubled Michigan athletic department over the years, right? But Sherrod boy, I just wish nothing but the best. But do you have anything on Sharon before we get into the actual CFP?
I mean, it was just crazy to see the spiral, like to go from getting fired to being arrested, and then all this more information coming out. It's pretty sad to see, honestly. I mean, you see him there in a holding, or he's not even in a holding cell. He's locked up right now. So, I don't know. That's pretty insane for the Michigan coach to go from being coached last week or 2 weeks ago versus Ohio State to you know being on a Zoom call in jail. That's pretty wild. Well, apparently his wife is with him. I saw a picture of her walking with him, uh,
Mm-hmm.
like I think today, maybe yesterday. So maybe she's a rider. We'll see. But
Maybe she's a rider.
yeah, you don't know, bro. but
Um,
yeah,
so,
nothing.
Joey, before I let you go, I need to ask Julian, like, because you tune into the CFP a lot more than I would. Like, is this something that is out of the blue as we think? Like, have we seen any signs of like him being maybe a overly hyped guy, maybe overly emotional? Like I remember with Harbaugh stepping down or going to a different opportunity, he was emotional there, but it was just like, it was
He got
understandable. That's his guy. Like, but
he got very emotional when Harbaugh was suspended. So like when all of that, like when that scandal happened with Connor Stallions and the Spygate, all that, sign stealing. Um, he had to step up and be the head coach of Michigan for a few big games. I think it was versus Penn State, one of the games, and then obviously he played Ohio State and won there too, which was shocking because Ohio State at that time I think they had C.J. Stroud, and they were a really good team, right? So everyone was expecting them to win. Michigan went up there, beat them handily, or they were at home that year. I don't remember. It's a blur, but beat them 2 times in a row handily. So pretty shocking to see. I don't think there was any signs of this though. Like I don't. I saw him crying on in a post game presser, but that's somewhat normal after your team's been through some trials. But to cheat on your wife and then pull up on the mistress with a butter knife and say you're gonna kill yourself. I don't know, bro. Like that. I don't know if there really could be any signs of that.
there's
But
always signs. We just didn't know.
yeah, we didn't know. To the public, I don't think there was any signs. To insiders and maybe people within the Michigan athletics department, I'm sure that they knew this for a while. Like they were just waiting. I'm
And
sure
will be investigated as well, by the way.
they were waiting on this. Obviously, this is they knew this. So sucks to see, but hopefully he lands on his feet somewhere. He won't go anywhere big now.
I mean, definitely not. Now we'll never see him again.
Yeah, not as a head coach. He's probably good. So
Yeah, definitely could. Joey, any takes about Sharon before I let Julian, excuse me, give the CFP landscape here?
I mean, everything that's already been said is pretty much where I'm at with this whole situation. I think it's crazy. It's sad. It's definitely not something that you expect to see in the news every day. Obviously, Julian would probably know a lot more than I do about this guy, what he is, what he's about. But like again, it's something that you really, just don't like to see. And just kind of hoping that he kind of gets the help he needs because at this point, he's not going to be coaching a college football team anymore. So
Yeah, prayers up. Prayers up. Drew, I had to let the snow go.
you stopped playing in the snow. You went skiing so many times it got a little cold there.
I had to let the snow go. What is that? All right. CFP. Drew, I've seen a lot of nonsense in the media, particularly, some around Miami, some around Miami, you know what I mean? I've heard Notre Dame in there. Like, what's going on here?
There's a lot going on. I'm just gonna go down the bracket honestly. At first to just introduce what's going. So as you can see, James Madison is in the field as the last team in, going to Eugene, Oregon on this Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. That's I don't think there's much to talk about there. James Madison,
James
they
Madison.
played in their conference championship game and they looked pretty doodle. It's versus another Sun Belt team, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they didn't look very good. So I don't think this will be very competitive. I would bet Oregon spread. I don't know what it is. I think it's over 20. I would bet it though. I think they're gonna blow them out badly, like really badly, because James Madison can't throw, like not at all. So I know y'all don't watch all that much college football. This is not the game to tune into, in my opinion.
Definitely not.
I'll eat my words. I would love for them to make it a game, but this I would not focus on this one if I was y'all. Um, Next, obviously, we see Bama, two big SEC brands, Bama and Oklahoma. This one is in Norman. They just matched it up, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, uh, or 2 weeks ago in the season. So one of the last few games, and Oklahoma got that W. Even though some would say Alabama outplayed them in that game, I don't think so. I don't think Bama's looked very good recently at all. They look pretty mid, and Oklahoma's offense is bad. So I don't even know which way to lean on this game. Like it's kind of, is Bama clicking on, all cylinders, are hitting on all cylinders. If they are, their offense can score. If they're not, I don't know. I don't see it ending well for them if Ty Simpson doesn't have a good game. So we'll see what happens there. But there is a lot on the line in terms of brands, because Bama lost 3 games this year, and they were a former Nick Saban coach team who, I don't know if they ever lost 3 games during our lifetime at least. So to see it happen 2 years in a row now is pretty shocking. And if they lose this, it'll be 4. So hopefully for them, they get the dub this week. You know anything about this, Joey? Bama, Oklahoma?
I don't watch college football.
Not much.
Admittedly.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
I've seen
Yeah.
that a couple times
I'll say
throughout the year.
tune into that one. It should be I think it will be competitive at least. And then next, I'll say it's a big topic because of the whole Lane Kiffin saga that's been happening. I don't know how much y'all know about that, but Lane Kiffin was the coach of Ole Miss for the last few years, right? He's been there for a while.
Up and left the boys.
Yep. He took the LSU job at the end of the season. So he's not going to be coaching them in the playoff, which is, I would say that's unprecedented for a head coach. I don't remember that ever happening in my lifetime, for a coach to leave his playoff team to go to a team who's not in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. I'm interested in this game, not necessarily because I think it's going to be that competitive. I don't think Tulane can play with them. They actually already matched up this year and they won by 35 points, right? But I want to see what the team looks like without Lane Kiffin. He does help call the plays at times. He is the orchestrator of that offense for sure. He's been really good with quarterbacks throughout his career. So I want to see what they look like offensively, because that's their bread and butter as a team, right? Ole Miss. And that will obviously have big implications on their next game. I think they're going to win. But when they go to have to face Georgia, that's not going to be sweet. They should have beat Georgia the first time they played, honestly. Their quarterback, for lack of better words, he shat his pants in the fourth quarter. I don't know how to say it any better. He had guys wide open. He couldn't complete a pass. He dominated quarters 1 through 3. And they're, if I'm not mistaken, in Georgia. The crowd turns up a little bit. Georgia started scoring, and then you would see, man, he just crashed and burned. So I'm interested in that game a lot, honestly. If we do get the Ole Miss and Georgia second round matchup.
But hold on, Drew. Let me, before we get too far, I do want to this Lane thing just a little bit, because there are some takes to be had here, and I think we should fill Joey in on exactly what's kind of transpired with that. I've heard a few things.
There are.
But to make a long story short, as far as I understand it, like Julian said, coach of Ole Miss, right, until basically the end of the year. But then he was offered a substantial bag, right, to go to LSU. Now, Lane is a guy that's been in the league. Like he's been in the league. Like we know his name. Like he has absolutely nothing to prove as far as coaching is concerned, right? But then he was offered that bag, and we know, what type of brand name at least LSU is when it comes to college football. Like, so I just wanted to ask y'all, like, is that crazy? Like, was he crazy to up and leave his team, for that bigger bag, for a maybe bigger school? Like,
bigger brand, bigger program for sure, more resources, a little bit. But yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I'll go. I thought it was crazy. I thought he had everything he needed at Ole Miss. They invested in him a lot financially, like with the NIL and everything. You need that now to even be competitive. But to see him leave in the middle of the season, or not the middle, but at the end of the season was pretty crazy. But yeah, it's wild.
I mean, it's a wild move, but like, you're not making that move, Julian?
Mm-mm. His team would have matched that offer. For sure, they did match the offer.
But they can't match the brand.
No. Or resources.
Like
you're in Louisiana.
Or resources, right? Potential recruits, right? They can't match that.
No.
So it's like, I don't know what his goals, aspirations are, but if I hear bigger bag, more resources, maybe, more comfortable lodging. And I mean, you go down to Louisiana, like I don't know what he's about, but
he is a bachelor for sure. He was hitting all the sorority girls on Ole Miss for sure at Ole Miss. I'm not even joking. I'm not trolling. Like there's proof and paper trails. He's probably finna go crazy.
He's definitely going dummy. Like
he definitely
money bags, but I don't know, Joey. Like with the information provided to you, are you making that move?
I forgot how big of a rivalry that LSU and Ole Miss have. I totally forgot about that. But, I don't know. Like, I think at the end of the day, I think money talks. But again, like you guys said, the brand is more at LSU versus at Ole Miss. But I don't know. But again, like this is someone who's very out of tune with college football. But I think given any sort of circumstance, I think like I get like wanting to put your name on the map as far as, your talents as a coach. Cause I'm thinking about it like from like Loyola, like the basketball coach, Porter Moser, right? Like he led the team to the Final Four, put Loyola on the map, and then left for, I think, Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, like I totally understand, wanting to leave to kind of for a bigger brand to continue to put your name on the map. So I mean, honestly, like I don't think it's totally crazy, but I think like the factor of the Ole Miss LSU rivalry there, I think does kind of add a little bit.
I mean, I get it, but like, I'm gonna let Julian go. But when we start bringing morality into this, like I've heard some people like, "Oh, how could you leave those kids? They believed in you." Da, da, da.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Bro, yeah, like they understood. Like a lot of those kids would have made the same move. A lot of those families would have made the same move. Like, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And
for him,
or so,
I feel like my bad. But for his situation, I feel like it wasn't necessarily what he did, right? It's more how he went about it. He trolls a lot. Right, he's one of the younger head coaches, so he'll be on Twitter trolling, like literally. He'll be on Twitter trolling after games, prior to games, trolling other head coaches, texting them all these things, trolling the media. So he was doing that to Ole Miss, kind of in a way, like he was kind of like almost like how you lead a girl on, right? So he's like, like I'm gonna be back next year, blah blah blah, like, but in a trolling way, like not just coach speak.
Uh-huh.
So to see it happen the way that it did. And then on his way, like he tried to basically negatively recruit against Ole Miss. So he's like trying to take guys with him. He said, if you don't let me coach, right? So the Ole Miss AD said, you cannot coach if you take this job, right? You cannot coach our team in the playoff. He tried to take all of the players with them. And he said, none of my coaches on staff who are coming with me to LSU, right? Because you take your guys with you when you go coach elsewhere. None of those coaches are coaching either, right? So that's the whole offensive staff pretty much is gone from a playoff team. So you're frying your team, who's now has a chance. They have a legitimate chance to win a championship. Like they're not. You see, they're the sixth team in the country. They're good, right? So to see it work out like that was pretty disappointing for them as a program because this is the height of Ole Miss. We haven't seen them reach this height in our lifetime ever. So it's disappointing. I would be sad if I was an Ole Miss fan, but we'll see how it goes. I think that they do still have a chance. Also, they did go back and say, like, after like all the fallout, Lane Kiffin did go back and say, okay, my offensive coordinator come back, so he's going to be there. Charlie Weiss, he's going to be the offensive coordinator. The defensive coaches were not messing with it. Like they said, you got to kick rocks, and they stayed at Ole Miss. He got promoted to be the head coach now. So the defensive coaches are pretty much all there, and Lane Kiffin's offensive staff is going to go with him to LSU. But some of those guys are coming back to coach for the playoffs, so it worked out okay. But it was a lot of drama,
Yeah, it's a lot of drama. It's what it is. I think you still make the right move for yourself and your family at the end of the day. But that's my take. Go ahead, Drew. Let's keep it moving. Oh my God. Hell no.
I don't really have to say too much about what's happening. Saturday, 12 noon, excuse me. Kickoff time. We're going to College Station, Texas. I will be in attendance for the quarterfinals when we do make that game in Dallas, Texas. I will be pulling up to that game. Just letting y'all know. For this game, it's an intriguing, probably the most intriguing of the first round, and that's not
straddle it.
No, relax. I say it's an intriguing matchup, the most intriguing of the first round. Am I confident? Did I already put my money behind what I'm about to say? Yes, I did, and I don't bet on the Canes, but I did this week just because it feels different, man. This team is special, man. I do think we have one of the top 2-3 most talented rosters in the country. We did have some hiccups for sure in the middle of the season. I don't think that was necessarily due to talent. That was due to our approach to the game, right? We have a better team. We were playing very conservatively, playing almost not to lose, playing slow, no energy, got beat twice. Now, since then, have picked it up in a crazy fashion. The team is getting back healthy. And I do think we're going to walk into College Station 110,000 strong. 110,000. We're going to walk into College Station at noon on Saturday. I think we're going to handle business in convincing fashion.
Yeah.
No blowout, but I think we're going to control the game. Mario Cristobal's done a great job since he came. This is year 4 for him, already in the playoffs. You've seen just the team has been on an incline. First year lost to Middle Tennessee State at home. I was on campus for that. It was horrible, and we got blown out, bro. We got beat by 2 scores. Mm-hmm. One of the most embarrassing losses. We lost to FIU. That's like our little brother school in Miami, right? Shout out to them, good school, but athletically they should never be right? You see us now, year 4, qualifying for the playoffs, and the team is just they're like that. So I'm excited to see it. Offensive, defensive line, if they show up, the game will be won. I believe that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just being honest. Then real quick. On the second round, Ohio State's in there. Obviously, next up, I will be at that game. Belt to behind. Shout out to my boy Austin. I hope he comes to Dallas. I hope he comes to Dallas too, because we're handling that too. We have a get back to get from about 20 years ago on them. So we're handling that. Georgia will be there, obviously. Indiana. Do want to touch on them real quick. They've been the best team all year. Undefeated, the only team in the country to be undefeated. They do have the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza. Shout out to him. He just won last Saturday. I'll say it's an underwhelming Heisman year total, but he does deserve it in my opinion. So it's really cool to see. And then Texas Tech has been a good story as well. They transferred pretty much their whole team in this offseason, and people were making fun of that, saying it wouldn't work. It's worked out very well. They have a really good squad, so I'm excited to see how they do as well. But we'll see throughout these next few weeks what happens. Canes by Canes by 10.
Anywho, all right. So rambling aside. Um, I don't have no pushback, Julian. I just want you to say one thing for me. What's your quarterback name?
It's Carson Beck, bro.
Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Joey?
Formerly
Yep.
known as Happy Feet by me.
Joey.
I did coin him as Happy Feet, but that was when he was at Georgia. It's different here. It's different.
Wait, Joey, do you know who that is?
The only reason I know who Carson Beck is because he dated a Cavender twin.
He did.
That's the only way. That's the only reason I know that. And I forgot he was there because he transferred.
Hey, Happy Feet and the Cavender twin. Happy Feet and the Cavender twin.
I think there was like a whole like cheating scandal with that. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. But he touched down in Miami, man. Can't blame him.
Listen, bro. Listen. You said 12 noon, Julian? All right, I'll be there.
Lock in.
I will be there. That's
Lock in.
all.
110 strong, 110,000.
Yeah, we gonna see that. I'm just watching for stat baby. But anyway. Let me blow this up, man. I need some glasses actually. So this is inaccurate as of today, right? Taking a look here, we're talking NCAA men's basketball. We've got so many intriguing prospects at this time, some intriguing teams as well to follow. It's really setting up to be a very, very great tournament in the spring. Like I've been tuning into a few games here, and they've all been very competitive. I must say, since I'm out here, Julian, I don't know if you have recently, but if you tune into that Florida Gators team, actually,
I saw them play, yeah.
They got a kid named Tommy Hall, I believe, on that roster.
Yeah, Thomas Hall.
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah, he's a good player.
You know, I got my eye on him. Like, I'm not saying he could be, but
No, he can play. He
definitely could play. Like, he definitely surprised me with his progression over the summer. Like, definitely got my eye on him. But just taking a look at the NCAA landscape here, any teams you want to just give a quick shout out to so far as we get through it? I put Bulls up there with that Duke team. They're doing their thing right now. But, any shout outs?
Shout out to Michigan, in my opinion. I saw them play a few times. To me, from the teams I've seen, they look like the best team. I haven't seen all the teams. I saw Arizona play half of a game, so I can't really make a judgment on them. But I did see Duke play, and I think that Michigan is a better team. So shout out to them for sure.
Joe, you seen any of this yet?
No, not really.
Okay. No, definitely tune in here and there when you get a chance. Like, it's definitely been some good competitive basketball, even with the, kind of tournaments that they put together. Like, it's been nice. I normally tune in maybe around this time, but I did a little bit earlier this year to see what some of the hype was about with some of these players. And, again, they've got some guys. I just want to
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to shout out Bulls one time. Like, Bulls, he's really like Jason Tatum. He's just no, I'm playing. No, I'm definitely playing, but no, I definitely like his skill set though. I mean, we talk about a guy that could find his way to an Oklahoma City Thunder team if the cards align. He could be a good stretch big. I think he has one of those frames where, he can put on that muscle and still be able to shoot the ball from the outside. Like, I'm definitely interested to see him be one of those connector pieces once he gets into the league because that's so important. with the teams that we have. We talk about guys like Hardenstein, the Nurkic's of the world, the Vucevic, the Valanciunas of the world. These guys that can really pass the ball as well, have an impact using their finesse game on the floor. Derek Queen, those types of guys. I'm definitely circling him to be a top prospect to come out of this thing. There's a lot of other guys though. There's a lot of other guys, so I don't even know if he is that number one guy.
He's one or two. You got y'all. Actually, both of you all love basketball. Y'all should watch Kansas play. He was hurt for a while, so for a few of those losses, he was out. Darren Peterson.
I haven't seen him play because he was out, but I've heard
he is nice. He is nice. Y'all should both watch him play.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of guys, and there's some guys that are returning that most likely will take that next step to the next level that we have our eye on there. But this is really just a slide to show love to the NCAA. Like, it's going to be very, very interesting. Looking forward to beating Julian's ass yet again come springtime. You know what I mean?
I won the last one, so
I don't remember that. Like I don't think that's true. But whatever. It's been a long time, and we're gonna go forth, have a couple brackets ready, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But any further takes about college before we get into some pro sports? Nope. All right, that's 2 out of the 4. Let's keep it moving here. The NBA Cup. Right. Julian's been so excited for this. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been so excited for this, right? So the National Basketball Association San Antonio Basketball Spurs, Joey. The basketball Spurs. Wembanyama came back and he knocked off the best team in the league, OKC Thunder, right? Knocked off Shea and the guys, you know what I mean, to advance to the finals of the NBA Cup. Julian, this is what it's all about, bro. Like, this is what it's all about. You knock off a top team. Joey, are they trying? Do you think they were trying to win that game, or what you think?
Ooh, the Thunder?
Yeah, the Thunder or the Spurs. Yeah, who do you think they were trying? Like, putting forth great effort? Like, was that a thing? Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I think the Thunder just have a lot of talent, but I think at the same time, I think the Spurs kind of put the NBA on notice a little bit there. Just kind of playing a certain way to where, like they're just straight up playing basketball. They're playing through the fouls. They're playing through, the defense. Obviously, it helps having a 7'5" behemoth of a guy on your team, but and just some really talented guards. Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle look incredible. I love that Spurs team, but I think it's definitely something to keep watch of. But you got to give both teams their flowers, man. Like, they look still like really good.
Now, Joey, I like what you did there, right? You talked about these young, up and coming players with something to prove. You know what I mean? These young, up and coming guys, the Dylan Harpers of the world, like these guys that haven't quite done it just yet. You know what I mean? With a chip on their shoulder to knock off the best. This is what it's all about, isn't it, Joey? This is why we watch the league, don't we?
No. We watch the league for the playoffs.
I wasn't even talking. Like, Joey and I were having a conversation. Like, I asked Joey, he said these were the guys that intrigue him, right? He's put a circle around these guys, right? As guys he wants to watch, he wants to see. High flyers, athletes.
I want to say something. Sorry. I impulse bought a Bulls Spurs ticket, and I saw Wemby just walk Vooch down and shot like 6 threes in a game. That is who I want to see. I circled that. I looked at it. I'm like, probably less than a week notice. Got it.
Now, Joey, would I be wrong in saying that if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball? Like, I don't know what to say. Freaks of nature on the floor. young up and coming guys, rookies of the year. You must not like what we're doing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll keep the narratives out of it. I want to talk about this game tonight because that's what I'm getting ready to watch. Okay, the NBA Cup Finals. Spurs, Knicks. Okay. The Knicks have been lauded as the best team in the East right now, led by Jalen Brunson yet again. They're coached by Mike Brown. We know what he brings to the table for this team, right? They're doing some things differently than last year, but it's really the same team as far as composition, right? They use a lot more guys than they used to, though, right? And it's really been a nice thing to see, right, if you watch the NBA, okay? But then you go to the West Coast, right? You talk about the San Antonio Spurs. Joey already highlighted the guys that he's circled on that team, but we all know who we're watching during this time. Coming off an injury, this is a guy that's trying to cement himself in the legacy of the National Basketball Association, right? He's a walking triple-double, a defensive monster, and we don't know what he's going to do tonight. We absolutely don't know what he's going to do tonight. He's alien-esque. That's Victor Wembanyama. Who do y'all believe is going to win tonight? Because the spread is very, very close. I believe the Knicks are favored by 3 the last time I checked, but we can verify that. Who do we have?
I like the Spurs. I'm like the Spurs. I don't know who's going to be able to guard Wemby. I just think, you know, if you're looking at a guy like a Karl Anthony Towns, is he really going to be able to hold up? Are they going to kind of like what are they going to do? Like, what kind of lineup are they going to trot out there? Are they going to start Mitchell Robinson, put him at like the help defense position and have Cat roam around and, you know, guard Wemby, kind of try to keep up with him? You know, you don't really know. The Spurs also, again, Von Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox. I didn't even get to him. They've got an electrifying trio of guards. But, you know, they also have the perimeter defensive personnel of the Josh Harts of the world, the OG Anunobys, the Mikal Bridges. Like, this is going to be a very exciting matchup, but I just think that Wemby is going to be the real main factor in getting the Spurs the victory here.
As always. Drew, are you going to watch this one, bro? Or?
I'll probably tap into this, you know, on the side.
Really? Oh, okay. It's a little early, ain't it?
It is, but there's no football on, you know. It's what is it? Tuesday night? There's no football on, so I'll tap in a little bit. I'll say I'll probably go Spurs as well. I like Joey's point about who's going to guard Wemby. I mean, that's true just in terms of the league entirely. But specifically tonight, if they put Cat on him, Cat's definitely fouling out. I expect Cat to foul out tonight, bro. He loves to foul. So I like the Spurs line. And I do like Dylan. I've seen a few Spurs games just because of Wemby. No Cat. Especially beginning of the season when he was not hurt. But I like Dylan Harper a lot, man. He's a good player. So we'll see what happens tonight.
It's really – so what I liked about the NBA Cup this year is that it highlighted the young guys, right? It highlighted those teams that didn't include the LeBron James, really. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have the Clippers in there and didn't want to see Denver. I know Jokic is great. I wanted to see the young guys play against a team like the Knicks, who are favored to come out of the East. Like, everybody wants the Knicks to see a finals. That's kind of how the media operates, but they think this team has what it takes. I think it's a great matchup. I'm very interested in this matchup. I had to choose the Spurs as well, though. Of course, Wembanyama is a factor, but I think those guys on the perimeter have proven to be physical. They're relentless. I mean, as far as the athleticism is concerned, Jalen Brunson and those guys, they want to play a slow brand of basketball, right? But it's going to be one and done. So when it's one and done like that, we're going to be out on the break. Those guys are going to have to find a way to guard in transition, guard in space, which is not something that I believe that they are just physically capable of doing. It's going to be a lot of foul trouble, like Julian had mentioned. I expect the game to go down to the wire, if not overtime. But it's going to be a good preview of just a matchup that we may see, come postseason, depending on how the landscape shapes up. Like, which brings me to my next question that I would like to pose to you, gentlemen. Okay. Spurs, a lot of young guys now. Are they contenders this season? That's my question.
Is anyone really contenders? Like from what we've seen, who's gonna beat the Thunder?
I mean, they just beat the Thunder. Of course, it's a regular season matchup. It's one game. But yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, no other team proved that they could even do it.
Okay, look, I think there are some contenders. The Nuggets will always be a contender because they still have the best player, right? Anytime you have the best player in the NBA, most of the time you are a contender. The Spurs, are they contenders? It's hard to say they're contenders because they haven't done it yet as a group in the playoffs. So it's kind of a show me moment before I say that they're contenders.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet on San Antonio yet. I think they're going to be a very solid playoff team, but I think they need to, they have got a lot of guys that really need to kind of show me. It's like, yeah, you look good and you guys are super fun to watch, but is it a matter of like how far can you make it in this, crazy bloodbath of a Western Conference? What are you going to do when you come against a Denver, an Oklahoma City Thunder? Yeah, they won once, but are you going to be able to do this for a best out of 7 series? What are you going to do against a Houston Rockets? Even, it's just like they've got a lot to show me before I go ahead and jump up to you guys are contenders yet. Like you're not a contender out of the gate. You might have like a top 5 player in the world right now, but you've got to show me what you've got as a collective.
Now, Ian's not on the podcast, but I just want to say that I'm proud of you two. Like, I really am. Like, it's been a long time doing the podcast. I've been giving these takes for years, and y'all are finally starting to, understand what I be saying, right? And I really appreciate y'all listening to me. It's really taken a lot of time. It's really been my life's work to teach y'all the game of basketball, how it functions, how it works, right? Let these guys develop, show us a little bit of something first, right? In those big moments before we label them contender, before we label them GOAT, you know what I mean? So I really just want to sit here and applaud y'all, like, and say that I'm almost emotional. Like, I'm not going to lie, Joey. I'm almost emotional in the fact that, like, it's been so long. Like, I've been waiting for this for a minute. Really, like, and I'm just glad y'all think the way I do. I'm really just glad that y'all think the way I do. But there's one wrinkle I will add. I had some takes earlier that didn't quite make it to the podcast. They only landed in the group chat. This team is going to go as far as Wembanyama's health will take them. You understand what I'm saying? If Wembanyama is going to be on the court, regardless of what he does on the offensive end, his defense will be such a factor against any team that they line up against, right? That it's going to pose a lot of problems for a lot of time, right? Even in the series, I think that it's hard to game plan for such a thing. If you're not a team that can go out there and make 33s, you know what I mean? You're going to have a very hard time beating the Spurs team. They have a lot of guys that like to play around the basket as far as getting from the perimeter to the basket. They're learning now how to get Wembanyama in his spots, right? So he can get easy baskets. If he's going to be on the court during the postseason, it's going to pose problems, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I won't label them a contender just yet because there's a lot of teams that we have to see, right? And you mentioned Denver, you mentioned Houston, you mentioned OKC. That's a lot of teams. Like everybody can't be a contender, but they're on that track. I love what they've been doing so far. So we just have to see. We just have to see. Anywho, I want to touch on some NFL football before we get out of here. Yeah, I mean, I want to touch on some NFL football before we get out of here for real. It's been a lot going down. There's definitely been a lot going down. A lot of interesting games, interesting matchups to shape our postseason here, right? But there have been a lot of teams going out bad. There have been a lot of teams going out bad. I put the Chiefs up there. I put the Eagles up there. And I put my Tampa Bay Buccaneers up there as well, right? So, I mean, shout out to the Saints. Gifted us one. Playoff hopes are still alive, but not looking good. It's definitely not looking good at all. But I kick the Jew first and foremost, though. I mean, how you feeling about Shadur Sanders so far? We've seen the ups and we have seen some downs too. Of
course. I mean, look, it's expected. I think it's expected from rookies to have ups and downs, especially when you're playing on a team as bad as his. That organization has proven to be dysfunctional throughout the years, throughout our whole lives. So I don't know if he's necessarily going to be the guy to turn it around, but he has proven himself as a guy that belongs in the league, as a guy who deserves a shot at least to play. Right, there was a lot of controversy. Is it his dad? Is it not? His attitude and things of that nature. Can he lead a locker room? It seems like his teammates have really rallied around him, so it's been cool to see. But yeah, shout out to him. He's played pretty well, in my opinion. Last game was rough. I didn't get to see it, but I saw the box score at the end and 3 picks or something like that. So that was a rough one. But we'll see how he bounces back. That's really what matters.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we're seeing a young player who's taking the reins literally at the end of the season, right? Again, a lot of this stuff is to be expected, but I hope at least the Cleveland Browns understand that, this is the guy. You know what I mean? This is the guy. He's doing that those other guys he put in front of him did not do. Right, he's shown those flashes, and I think with the off season, full summer, working with those guys, I mean he's got it. I think the sky is going to be the limit for this guy. I mean, I think what we all have to backtrack and understand is some of the things he said in the media, some of the things his dad has said in the media. Like, you got to get on that bandwagon now. You got to get on that bandwagon now because, again, they said this would happen, and this is exactly what happened. So, shout out to him. Julian be saying I be hating, but, there will be growing pains. It's to be expected. But we'll see what it is going forward. But the question I want to pose to, the entire podcast here is we're in the disappointment range. A lot of things have been going down. Injuries have played the lead, but we're still in the disappointment range. Name a team that you're disappointed in the way that they're finishing this season, whether they're not making the playoffs, whether they're just going, maybe, scraping by to make it. We've got a lot of football still left to play, but is there a disappointing team that you've seen so far that you like to, put on the pot?
I mean, an obvious one is Chiefs. They have been a dynasty for the last 8 years, I think, something like that. Something that's been going for a while. But to see Patrick Mahomes go down with the ACL injury is obviously super, super bad for the league. That's not good for viewers. We want to see the best players play in the playoffs. And I would say I'll broaden my take, actually. Quarterbacks, the best quarterbacks in general have been a disappointment, right?
It's a good take.
I always look forward in the playoffs to being able to see those guys be able to go versus each other, right? And we're not going to get that this year. or there's a very good chance that we don't get a few of those guys in. Like Lamar may not be in. Joe Burrow's already out. Patrick Mahomes is not going to be there. His team's not even going to be there. Right? Like this is, I would say, shocking for what we thought, for the expectations that we had coming into the season for those guys. To see it play out like this is pretty disappointing. But it'll be a cool opportunity for those other guys, especially in the AFC. So we're going to get to see it. Justin Herbert. This is Josh Allen's moment. Because I assume they'll make it. Drake May, he's been pushing, for this MVP. He's going to get a shot in the playoffs. Bo Nix, I don't like him. But he's going to get a shot. Maybe the number 1 seed in the AFC. So I'm interested to see what happens on that side, especially just because, that juggernaut is not going to be there.
True. I gotta step in, bro, because that's a great take. But the problem with that take is the next step of it, right? Whoever comes out of this madness, we're going to put an asterisk. We're going to put an asterisk next to their chip. We're going to.
I would agree if Patrick went down and his team was good. Chiefs weren't good. They got eliminated in the game and he got hurt. They were eliminated last Sunday.
Some may say that they could have won that game.
They could have, but they had to almost win out to get there, right? And they showed no signs of doing that. They just lost to the Cowboys on what was it, Thanksgiving? Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I don't think that team is very good. So I won't put an asterisk on it because I don't think they were going to make it anyway.
You named it.
Yeah,
what's up, Joey?
Yeah, I didn't love this Chiefs roster. I think, there's a lot of excuses that you can point to of Kelsey getting older, Mahomes obviously getting hurt, but I didn't love this roster to begin with. Xavier Worthy, he just kind of had a very mediocre, probably less than mediocre sophomore season. You don't really have an answer at running back. Pacheco's extremely disappointing. Kareem Hunt's, taking a lot of the burden. He looked, fine, but I think they're pretty much the same. I just don't love this roster offensively. I don't think it really excuses, the performance that they put on this year. I just don't. I didn't love this roster. I think they're maybe just a touch disappointing, but I think they were really going to show their true colors this season after, a lot of questionable wins last year that brought them to the Super Bowl.
I just don't believe in the past we've lauded about the Chiefs roster as a whole. Maybe their defense, you know what I mean? But it's always been a little Mahomes magic sprinkled in there, right, to get them over the hump in those key matchups. I don't know. We'll talk about the Chiefs, but there are other teams that have dealt with so many injuries to the point where it's how can they even be trying to compete at this late in the game for that playoff spot? I don't know. Julian, there's a scenario where Drake May is a champion. There's a scenario where Bo Nix is a champion. And as revisionists we're going to go back and say, oh, well, so-and-so wasn't there. So-and-so was in and out.
I think the guy who gets it done is going to be good enough to where there's going to be no asterisks needed. I don't think that Bo Nix is not good. I don't think Bo Nix is going to win a Super Bowl. I just don't believe that he's going to do it. The roster is good. The defense is fire, right? Best in the league. I just don't think that he's going to do it.
Julian, but you're playing at this point, bro.
Justin Herbert.
Done.
Imagine if Justin Herbert wills his team in. He's lost 2 offensive tackles who are both all-pro or all-pro caliber, right? Pro Bowl caliber. I'll say that. 2 dog offensive tackles. Multiple skill players have been out, right? Defense has been banged up. And yet they're still in position to compete, right? If he goes and wins, there's no asterisks. There can't be.
But dude, that's a big if. We have to take.
Okay, if Josh Allen goes and wills that offense to a Super Bowl, there's an asterisk.
I mean, his whole identity is not being able to beat Mahomes.
But not because of him, though. It's because his team has folded in the last moments of games. The margins have been this thin. The margins have been super thin.
I'm just telling you,
he put 45 points on them and lost with 9 seconds.
This is football. Yes, I understand it. But this is the barbershop narrative that we're coming on to speak about.
I agree. People will say that Stephen A. Smith will be on First Take the next morning saying there's an asterisk. That will happen. I just don't think it's valid.
On me, like,
I don't think that's
it's
going to be
gonna
valid.
happen. Like, I don't know.
If Lamar gets in, takes this team who's been flawed. I mean, they were 1-6, I think, and now they have a chance to get into the playoffs if they beat the Steelers, or if the Steelers fall off. I think they're one game back, if I'm not mistaken. If they get in and win, what asterisks are we going to put on it, bro? Like, I don't think so.
But Julie, you're on your knees right now praying that Bo Nix does not win a championship this year. Like we're naming all of the name brand guys, but we're not naming the team. The Denver Broncos have played. Like, they've shown us they can play.
They're good, but they're not that good. I think it's fool's goals. Out of all the teams in the league who are good, I think they are the most misleading team. I don't think the Patriots are that good either, honestly. I think that they're a year ahead of schedule, right? Next year, they're going to be really good. I believe that. But I don't think the Broncos or Patriots, I don't know if they'll win their first playoff game they play, to be honest. I'll go ahead and make that take right now. I don't know what the matchups are. It was easy to say now, but depending on who they get in the first round, I don't know if they're going to win. I don't know if they'll beat Houston. I don't believe they would in a playoff game.
That's an interesting take. That is an interesting take. Houston.
I've watched them play, bro. The Broncos get behind every week, and they somehow come back. This is different in playoffs.
I get it. The Buccaneers. But anyway, this is the last point I want to make about the NFL that we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking a lot about the quarterbacks, right? They're the most, celebrity figures, the people we watch. Right? Julian, are we entering the era of the game manager? Right? Are we entering the era of, I don't need the guy that can throw the ball 400 yards, rush, scramble out of the pocket, juke 4 or 5 African Americans and get into the end zone? Do I just need a guy that's not going to make mistakes and get the ball out on time? Are we entering the era of the game manager?
I don't think we're entering an era, but I think that's how it's always been, honestly. Like, the best quarterbacks are just super good at being a game manager, right? Like, Tom Brady's not going to go and throw the ball 5,000 yards. He was talented, super talented, but, like, he's not the most talented guy to ever play football. And he was a monster, right? Just because he was so detailed and, like, obviously prepared really well. But I don't know if we're entering an era necessarily. I think that will always play. As long as you have a good team, like, if you have a guy who's going to take care of the football and, like, get it to his guys, that's going to win.
Why would I pay Lamar Jackson then?
I mean, you've got to surround Lamar Jackson with guys, right? Like, Lamar Jackson can win if he has guys. Lamar Jackson doesn't have enough guys, in my opinion.
Lamar hasn't had guys in his career?
Not to the caliber of most MVP players. I don't think so.
Who is the most?
The average MVP quarterback has had better skill position players than Lamar.
I need you to name a name. Give me a name that I would know.
Okay, Peyton Manning. Let's talk about Peyton Manning. Ed Wayne, Hall of Fame receiver. Marvin Harrison, Hall of Fame receiver, right? Dallas Clark. He had many guys.
Julian, we're going back to when I was a child.
Bro, I'm just giving you. I mean, you asked me for a guy. You want me to go now? Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
They paid 2 receiver ones. T. Higgins and Chase. Lamar's never had a receiver as good as T. Higgins ever in his life. 0 times. Zay Flowers is a good player, but he's not a receiver. No way.
Zay Flowers is a very good player, but
he's good. I like him. I'm saying he's not a number 1 option, bro. He's not. And, all the other guys, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Smitty.
So Mark Andrews is not an option?
Mark Andrews is an option, but, like, to have your tight end as the best option, he needs to be a Gronkowski or a Travis Kelce. level player, right? Or the supporting guys need to be fired, right? So we can talk about.
What
Let's
about
say
Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry's a good player, obviously, but he's in the later stages of his career. This is not prime Derrick Henry. 2 years ago, the first year Derrick Henry came, okay. Now it's a little bit slower, and their offensive line is not as good now. Like they're just not. But in terms of skill position players, I'm talking about, right? We're mostly talking about receivers. He doesn't have any guys except for Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins, bro. You can't have DeAndre Hopkins as your number 2 receiver in 2025. That's not going to play ever.
Brian D Hop.
I like it. DeAndre Hopkins. He's still can catch the ball, but he shouldn't be playing every down. he's
I think
Hall of Fame. Like,
and Mark Andrews has regressed a lot. Like modern day Mark Andrews has regressed a lot. Then
he got no quarterback.
Okay. When he was playing well, like I agree, but no.
No, I'm playing, man. I'm playing. Okay. Any more takes about the NFL, man, before we close this thing out? It's going to be interesting, man. I'll just say this about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Like, Julian, I hope you understand the entire city has turned on them. Like,
y'all are getting the playoffs.
I mean, most likely, but it's just like what I've learned is the standard is different around here. You know what I mean? Like, Julian, you and I would just be grateful to make a playoff. You know what I mean? Just to have the chance to have a positive record in the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bar is so much lower. Like, these guys, they're coming for coaches, assistant coaches. They're talking about the effort around here. Like, folks spoiled. Like, folks are spoiled for real. Like, and I understand it. You know, you lose a game to the Saints, you lose a game to our Atlanta Falcons. I mean, did we lose to Arizona? I think we did too, right?
I don't remember.
I believe. Let me go to the NFC South. Really,
Jacoby Brissett led the Cardinals. That's rough.
Nah. Well, okay, we beat them by 3. Get blown out the water by the Rams. You know, you lose to the Bills. You lose to the Patriots. Like, blown out the water by the Lions. It's been a rough stretch. Like, it really has been a rough stretch. Like, again, we have a joke that the NFL script writers are in their bag. We played Carolina, at Carolina Sunday. Yeah. Our last game of the year is here against Carolina.
You play them twice, don't you?
Yep. You play them twice. If you beat them, then you're in. But, it's going to be an interesting game. So if we have Sunday night football, y'all will hear from me. But anywho, shout out to them. That's A5 Pod, man. We're going to be on hopefully maybe not next week. We'll see about that with the holiday. But, we'll see.
Man, I'm coming on to talk my cash. I'm coming on to talk my cash after we handle business in College Station. I'll be on. Y'all speak for yourselves. I'll be on.
And definitely keep that energy. Yeah, keep that energy that you have there. Yeah. That's A5 Pod, man. We'll see y'all next week.